Welcome to today's webinar on how to operationalize generative AI with Apigee API Management. I'm Michael Vakoc, a product manager for Apigee at Google Cloud.
Hi, I'm Ruben. I'm a customer engineer and an API management specialist at Google.
All right. So today we are going to talk about how the increased pace of Gen AI operationalization is taking place, how people are going from a single solution to multiple being deployed at an organization. We will give you a glimpse of those challenges that you and others face while deploying those generative AI solutions. And then we talk about with demos how and what is the role of API management and how it can solve for these challenges with some great demos. So we have run a survey with Google Cloud across 2,500 enterprises globally. And what we have seen is that 74% of the surveyed enterprises have seen a positive return on investment within the first year. And 86% of those have actually seen an increased annual revenue coming from those generative AI initiatives of 6% or more. And so, because of this encouraging data, we see a continuous acceleration in adoption. In terms of what people are looking into, our survey has revealed that improving work efficiency is the number one use case and concern of those initiatives. Customers are also deploying use cases in customer service. They are looking into how generative AI can help their customers solve problems without having to wait for a live agent being available. Companies are also looking how they can improve competitiveness. How can they build those truly differentiating features using generative AI that can make their products stand out? And last but not least, companies are looking into how to make sense of large cases of data. How can they analyze and evaluate this data faster with the help of generative AI? So let's now talk about examples that we see. So Bayer, a healthcare company, is building applications for radiologists with AI-powered search, document creation, and analysis. Hiscox has built an AI underwriting model, automating complex tasks and taking something that took multiple days into something that takes just a few minutes. And Verizon has seen a great containment rate with their customer-facing solution, helping customers faster and more smoothly with generative AI. And so we talked about how this adoption is evolving. And so at this point, out of the surveyed organization, 3 in 5 of those organizations already have a use case in production, right? And as we discussed, they mostly see positive return on investment from these investments. And so again, they are moving from this, one or maybe few use cases that they have seen, where they have validated that they have a positive ROI, to multiple, to spread it out and enable the entire organizations building generative AI solutions. At the same time, we are seeing a surge in adoption of APIs, right? So just in the last 12 months, we have seen 200% increase in API deployments. And we have also seen a very high increase in efficiency reported by those companies that use API management for their APIs. Now, this growth is fueled by both, generative AI making it easier to create new functionality, but also by the ability of generative AI to accomplish new scenarios and needing new APIs to take action on your systems. And so at this point, you might still be asking, how is API management actually relevant to generative AI, right? And so to answer this question, let's look at the challenges that people face when they want to operationalize generative AI. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that your sensitive data is not being misused. You want to make sure that only the right people have access to the right data, right? Uh, you want to make sure that you are rightly tracking the usage of the applications or per user, so that people don't run up and take down existing APIs, right? You want to make sure that your solutions scale to grow to address that growing demand that we talked about, right? Now it's not about just one production solution, it's about many. Um, Also, how do you manage latency that is inherent in LLM invocations, right? How is there something that you can do to make it better? Um, Also, how do you distribute those requests to the AI models across different models, across different apps, to make sure that the right model gets the right prompts? And last but not least, how do you collect and analyze all the usage data to make sure that you get an insight on how the experience is being used, how you can improve it, as well as for compliance needs, right? And so at this point, you might be asking, as a experienced API management practitioner, what has changed, right? And in truth, everything has changed, yet nothing has really changed. And just like a tree changes, its appearance throughout the season, sometimes it has leaves, sometimes it doesn't have leaves, sometimes the leaves are yellow. It's still a tree, right? And so just like generative AI APIs look and are a transformative new technology, at its core they are APIs, right? And so the challenges that you have seen that you need to address with managing generative AI APIs sound very familiar to those who have addressed the same problems with what we call traditional APIs. And so at this point, you might be asking, okay, but how hard it can be? I can build a solution to address these challenges myself. And you might be right, but you have to ask yourself as well, just like in any buy or build sort of solution, um, does this really align with the core competency of my organization? What is the opportunity cost of building these capabilities? What is the time to market, right? Apigee API Management helps you address these challenges faster, so that you can focus on your core competency. And so let's talk about what is Apigee API Management. Apigee API Management platform is helps organizations control, secure, and scale their APIs, regardless of whether these APIs are hosted on Google Cloud, a third-party cloud platform, or on premises. Apigee acts as a middleman between your backend services and the applications that use them, providing features across traffic management, monetization, analytics, and security. In summary, Apigee allows you to create a consistent and reliable experience for developers who use your APIs, while also giving you the tools to manage and optimize those APIs effectively. And so, how does this look like in practice? Now, in order to build fantastic end user experiences, you need to provide your developers the best possible platform. And that's where Apigee capabilities that we just talked about come through. With Apigee API Management, you can build a platform, typically managed by a dedicated platform team, that any developer in your organization can use, or even outside of your organization can use to build those delightful end user experiences. Now, how does this actually look like in the new AI world? So we still have end user experiences that we want to build, but now they are agentic, right? They have a generative AI aspect to them, which allow us to accomplish new scenarios and help users in a way that technology couldn't in the past. And you have your application frameworks, right? So for generative AI applications, you might use solutions like Vertex AI to build your agenting application and expose it to your customers. At the same time, you have the models and you have data that these frameworks and these applications need to have access to. right? And so Apigee plays two roles here, right? It is the traditional API layer that acts as a proxy between your application and your users. At this layer, you manage authentication, prompt safety, rate limiting, and similar things like that. Now, you have a layer of connecting your application to the models and the data. This is where Apigee acts as a proxy for the models, routing to the right model, issuing rate limiting per applications, ensuring the logging, providing analytics insights on the usage, and more. You can also proxy calls to your data, whether that's through APIs or connectors using our application integration platform. And so now, to make it a little real and show you how this works in practice, let's now introduce Emma. Emma is an AI platform lead at Symbol, who is responsible for building a unified generative AI platform to streamline LLM deployments and adoption across the organization. She wants to make sure that every developer in the organization is empowered to build applications with large language models, and they have easy and simple access to those large language models so that they can integrate quickly. At the same time, she needs to make sure, though, that the security and budgets and other considerations in terms of compliance and governance rules are met as with expectations with her company. Now, to show you the specifics how this can be done with Apigee, let me hand it over to Ruben.
Thank you, Michael. So now we're going to go through several concerns of Emma, right? In this case, before Emma is going to be able to put anything into production, she's going to have to go through InfoSec. And something that InfoSec likes to say is no, right? And Emma already has a list of concerns that went through the InfoSec security lens, right? So Emma, first of all, she's looking for ways to detect and block adversarial prompts, right? They're going to be malicious users trying to steal data, steal training data, or steal the data that the agent already has access to, right? And malicious users are coming up with really crafty prompts to try to do that, right? So this is top of mind for Emma, and she needs to create a comprehensive strategy to protect against these type of prompts. Emma is also concerned about sensitive data, right, and how she should be able to detect and de-identify sensitive data in prompts and model responses, not only to prevent that data to be exfiltrated to the agentic experience, but also for that data to reach to the LLM provider and for that data to not to be logged at all. Right, so we need to create. Emma needs to create a sensitive data protection strategy onto how she's going to be able to detect it and de-identify it automatically. Now, Emma is also worried about being able to create an audit trail for each and every interaction between the consumers and the agentic experience, and also between the agentic experiences and the LLM providers. Not only for being able to know what went wrong when something really truly went wrong, but at the same time, some of these logs are going to be useful for coming up with their own models, own optimizations, and retraining purposes as well for Emma's applications. Right. So again, having these audit trails are super useful also for explainability, right? Based on how those those agentic experiences are interacting with LLMs and data, and we need to and application teams will also need to get access to those. Then there's also the concern about fine-grained authentication and authorization, right? We need to know how we're going to be able to enforce these controls, because these agents are going to be able to get access to enterprise data, not only the models themselves. And Emma is looking to have a comprehensive options depending on the type of application and who's going to be the consumer of the LLM endpoints or the agents. And finally, how can Emma make sure that their API endpoints or the LLM endpoints or the agent endpoints that are going to be exposed within the same platform are going to remain compliant, right? Because if she already designed a comprehensive security strategy that addresses all of these concerns, she also needs to make sure that those policies are always going to be enforced, right? And this should be auditable, right? And Emma should also be able to react accordingly if the platform detects that something is amiss. Now, in order to show you how these capabilities are already addressed by the platform, we need to talk about three different products here. Within Google Cloud, we have solutions for each and every one of Emma's concerns from a security perspective, right? First of all, this is going to be a combination of products, right, for you to be able to have a really comprehensive security posture in the way that you're going to be protecting both access to LLMs and also Gen AI applications. The first Lego piece for this solution is going to be Model Armor. We're super excited about this new product. Model Armor will effectively help you address different security concerns that are related to agent traffic or LLM traffic as well. Right. So with Model Armor, you should be able to apply sensitive data protections. Right. You should be able to detect and de-identify data. Right. You're also going to be able to get access to responsible AI filters to detect malicious language, maybe topics that you may not want to allow within the enterprise to be sent to agents or LLMs, right? All of those things can be automatically detected, and then you should be able to take an action in a data plane, which in this case is going to be the Apigee platform. And of course, this is going to be multimodal, right? So regardless if you're going to be interacting through chat experiences or maybe sending over documents, right? Model Armor should be able to detect and apply filters accordingly. Now, in the middle, we're going to have, of course, Apigee. Apigee is a great enforcement point, right? We already have comprehensive security capabilities within the platform. But on top of that, of course, we should be able to apply authentication authorization that is going to be specific, right, to how you're going to be exposing those LLM endpoints or agentic experiences. And on top of that, you should also be able to create an audit trail for each and every interaction, not only for prompts, but also for LLM responses or agentic responses that you're getting, that you're providing to the chat, to the conversational experiences, right? And finally, how you should be able to also govern access to this platform, right? Today, you may have one chatbot, maybe one agentic experience, and maybe a couple of LLMs. Tomorrow, you may even want to, onboard not only multiple LLMs, multiple agents, right, but potentially also multiple consumers reusing the same endpoints, right? So within the same platform, you should be able to govern who gets access to what, but at the same time, providing a streamlined onboarding process and truly unlock access to AI capabilities in your organization. Now, finally, LLM traffic, it's going to be basically similar to HTTP traffic. And on top of that, you should also be able to obtain insights into how consumers are going to be interacting with those applications and LLMs. But on top of that, you should also be able to detect misconfigured endpoints, right? And, you're going to be able to do so with the advanced API security module of Apigee, right? So, think about traditional application attacks, right? You should be able to detect and block these type of attacks. And again, obtain security insights and recommendations within the same platform. So from a demo perspective, right, we created a few scenarios for you to show you how, in combination, cloud logging, Apigee, and Model Armor, you should be able to detect and block adversarial prompts, right? We have different prompts to show you, right? You should also be able to de-identify sensitive data, right, before logging that data into cloud logging, right? And also how you should be able to create this audit trail, how, users or agentic experiences are going to be interacting with LLMs or users interacting with agents. You should be able to create an audit trail so that later on you can improve those agentic experiences. But at the same time, maybe, you can use some of this data for retraining purposes or coming up with your own agent customizations as well. So with that, we're going to move to the demo, right? So within this demo, we have an agentic experience, right? And on the right side, we have the Apigee platform where we're basically initiating a debug session. In this debug session, we should be able to capture traffic for you to be able to see all the interactions that we're going to be sending through the agent. Now, in this case, I'm going to send a prompt that is related to finance topics, right? Basically, I'm asking for financial advice to this agent. And in this case, because, I configured my Model Armor policy to block these type of topics, right? The platform is actually enforcing the Model Armor policy, right? So first, in this case, we're asking Model Armor to sanitize the user prompt. And then in Apigee, because we have the ability to introspect into the request and the response, we're able to manipulate the response to provide a custom error message. So in this case, we are just telling the user, hey, you're not allowed to send this type of messages to the agent, right? So for the next demo, right now we are going to be sending a jailbreak attack, right? So in this case, malicious users are coming up with crafty prompts to confuse the agent or the LLM to provide either training data or the data that the agent may already have access to, right? So we have to be careful about those crafty prompts, right? And again, based on how the platform is able to delegate the security inspection to Model Armor, and then in Apigee, you're able to basically, manipulate the way that you're going to be responding to the user and to the agentic experience. This is huge as well, right? Because we don't want the application to fail completely, right? We want to handle that error, right, and maybe provide a customized error message based on what action we want the user to take. So for the third demo, we have a different prompt, right? In this case, I'm just going to ask something about a user, right? And I'm using a DLP filter to detect email addresses on my prompts, right? So again, Model Armor can inherit DLP configurations from in Google Cloud, so that you can apply existing identification or de-identification templates that you may already have configured, or you can also use one of the existing DLP templates. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust my prompt to switch. Rather than sending an email address, I'm just going to go ahead and send my email. And in this case, because I'm no longer using an email address, the prompt will flow through. Right now, I'm asking everything about Ruben Gonzalez. It so happens that my doppelganger, double, it so happens that there's a musician that is also called Ruben Gonzalez. Right, he's a very famous piano player. Right. So in this case, we're also showing you how you should be able to create an audit trail. So each and every prompt that I just sent so far, it's available in cloud logging. But in this case, because I'm treating the email addresses as sensitive information, we're also de-identifying that email address from the log message. We're gonna go to the next concern, next Emma's concerns, right? Emma is also concerned about consumption challenges, right? So how can she apply token-based limits to LLM consumers, right? And think about how an LLM ecosystem is gonna grow within enterprises, right? Not only today you're gonna have to support one LLM provider, but potentially in the future you're gonna be supporting multiple LLM providers, right? So Emma, of course, is gonna be concerned about, hey, how can I, adjust how can I control how often consumers are going to be able to call these LLM endpoints, and of course, those LLM endpoints calls are going to cost money, right? And LLM calls are rated differently than traditional API traffic. Most LLM providers rate LLM transactions through token counts, right? So Emma would love to have a mechanism to be able to rate and budget and create budget allocations for consumers based on token counts, right? And because of the multi-tenant nature of the AI platform that Emma is looking to build, right, there's also a concern of, hey, how can I have deterministic ways to route traffic to specific models, right? But also smart routing capabilities that allows Emma to, further optimize the way that, he's going to be able to answer for a specific prompt. Sometimes LLMs are going to be really good at answering specific questions. Sometimes they're going to be very good at, doing other types of things, right? So not only deterministic routing, but smart routing capabilities is something that Emma is looking for, right? Semantic cache is super interesting because again, this is a topic that is related to costs, right? We want perhaps to have a layer that is going to handle similar questions or similar prompts, right? Rather than having to send that request all the way to the LLM that will ultimately cost money, right? Maybe there's going to be a caching layer that will allow us to optimize that LLM spend, and we can also provide a snappier user experience, right, by providing an immediate answer. This use case is very common for infobots, right? So they're always going to be commonly asked questions, right? And it's a good idea to have kind of like a semantic layer, right, that can answer those questions immediately without having to go again and again to the LLM to generate a response. Now, there's also the need for advanced analytics, right? Not only in terms of the traditional, API traffic metrics, but how about being able to capture metrics that are specific to LLM traffic, like token counts, performance, right? Failover scenarios, right? Tenancy, right? Sometimes, and this is something that is coming up very frequently with different customers, is that, hey, maybe there's a way or to circumvent the limits of the existing LLM provider, right? So we need to have a way to make better decisions into the capacity allocations that we are, or the purchases that we're making to those with those LLM providers, right? So those kind of things, Emma needs to be able to make decisions based on data rather than guesstimating, up until when she's going to be able to scale, or how many API calls or prompts she's going to be able to send to an LLM provider, right? So of course, she wants to be able to understand on the consumption side how often distinct applications are going to be able to call an LLM endpoint, but at the same time, how the platform is going to be interacting with multiple LLM providers. And finally, being able to fail over seamlessly, right? And again, some of these agentic experiences are going to be business critical. Maybe they're going to be related to the support experience to your customers. Maybe they're going to be related to the way that employees are going to be interacting with internal experts, right, in specific business processes, right? So you may want to have seamless failover capabilities so that the agentic experience will continue to function, but behind the scenes, the platform is automatically rerouting traffic to a different endpoint. So with that, of course, within Apigee, you should be able to apply controls, right? And also and use the out-of-the-box capabilities of the platform to first apply semantic caching, right? And this is something that in collaboration with the Vertex team here at Google, right, we have a really nice and easy solution that you can immediately deploy, right, in your Apigee runtimes, right? And the whole idea is for not only for you to be able to improve the performance of that agentic experience, right, but also at the same time to optimize costs, right, by storing some of these, commonly asked questions, right, rather than those requests going all the way to the LLM. You're going to have this caching layer in between, right? Apigee as a platform already has a really strong routing capability and failover capabilities as well, right? So this is a centralized management of traffic. You're going to have a centralized management of traffic for multiple LLM providers. You're going to be able to have simplifying failover strategies, logging, and security functions, and while maintaining availability, right? This is a very mature runtime, and you should be able to reuse it as well for your LLM needs. Now, finally, of course, the Apigee runtime has a great analytics engine. And this is an analytics engine that out of the box, you get 150 metrics and dimensions just for the API traffic. But on top of that, this analytics engine can be extended, right? And in this case, it's going to be extended based on specific metrics of interest for LLM traffic, like quota usage, right? How many tokens do you have left from your monthly budget, right? How many failover events happened already, for a given LLM provider, right? You're going to be able to make decisions based on data, adjust capacity allocations based on actual traffic patterns and usage, right? You're going to be able to understand, which application is consuming the most, right? Maybe you can prioritize traffic for business critical applications. You're going to be able to make those decisions based on data. And these are analytics that are captured out of the box within the Apigee platform. So with that, we're going to show you a demo, right? In this demo, we're going to show you how in combination with some Vertex AI capabilities, you should be able to set up a semantic cache layer in the platform. So with that, we're just going to show the demo. So in this case, I have a couple of prompts configured here, right? So the first demo prompt is going to be, a very interesting question. I always wonder, why is the sky blue, right? And then, of course, my LLM is going to give me an answer, right? This is the Rayleigh scattering effect, right? It took about 2.8 seconds to give me a reply, right? Now I'm going to ask the same question slightly different, right? The sky seems to be blue. Why? Well, I got the same answer. If you notice, it was kind of snappier, that reply, right? But then if I have a look into the debug session of Apigee, you will see again, in this case, the first request went all the way through, and it took about 2.8 seconds. But the second request, it took around 200 milliseconds. Huge difference, right? And again, it's all about having this semantic understanding based on an embedding strategy, right? And also having a vector database to be able to store those embeddings, and making sure that the next time, based on the semantic understanding of the prompts, we should be able to do a smart lookup on the Apigee caching layer to be able to provide an answer. All right. So now we're going to switch into getting to know better other challenges for Emma. In this case, are AI productization challenges, right? So as Emma is looking to build an AI platform, right? One of the main objectives of this AI platform is to democratize access to AI capabilities within the enterprise, right? For innovation, broader adoption, and also potentially business users for them to be able to get access to some of these capabilities. So Emma would like to make this available rather than just mere, technical constructs, right? She wants to elevate whatever she's going to be publishing into this platform, and she's going to elevate those into, into an AI product, right? AI products are a great way to not only have technical definitions over how someone should be able to get access to, in this case, an AI capability, but on top of that, by productizing, you should also be able to define service tiers, right? Or maybe potentially at some point create a new revenue stream based on the value of the product, of the digital product that you're publishing in a single platform. So in this case, Emma is looking to productize the AI capabilities within of their of her AI platform, right? Also, Emma is looking to enforce token budgets with a tiered model, right? So Emma is looking to create maybe a level product, maybe a silver level product, or a gold level product, right? And each and every one of those tiers, maybe there she's going to be unlocking access to different models, right? Maybe applying more relaxed limits, right, based on how high is going to be the tier. Maybe the most expensive models are going to be available in the gold product, but then maybe in the bronze product, consumers are only going to be able to get access to entry level capabilities, right? Emma is also looking to understand the cost and the value of her platform, right? And Emma is looking to charge, to show back or charge back for the consumption of LLM products, right? And remember, LLM traffic is rated slightly different, right? This is not just the traditional, API traffic rating, like just counting transactions. No, that's not enough, right? Actually, each and every prompt is gonna be weighted slightly different based on a token count, right? So these chargebacks are not only going to be based on token counts, but there's going to be a dollar amount assigned to the consumption of tokens for a given consumer, right? So Emma is looking to gather those insights so that she can create interesting internal chargeback processes, right? And then Emma is also looking to publish these AI capabilities in a model garden, right? Think of the model garden as this marketplace experience where any consumer within the organization, or maybe even third parties or external consumers, should be able to browse existing AI capabilities, explore those capabilities, and if they like it, right, they should be able to subscribe to them and request access to those AI products, right? So all of that should be streamlined within the same consumer experience, and that's going to be a model garden. And then finally, how Emma should be able to obtain advanced analytics, right? And in the previous concern, we saw that you should be able to get insights over operational insights using analytics. But in this case, think about insights over how these AI products are going to be consumed, and potentially for Emma. Emma could also share some of these insights to her VP, right? Maybe a product lead, maybe even the consumers, right? The consumers may want to know whether their AI product that they purchase through the model garden, maybe if it's adhering to specific SLAs or SLOs. Maybe the consumer may want to know if they are close to their monthly token budget, right? All of those insights can also be shared with consumers. All right. So of course, Apigee, can support AI productization use cases, right? AI products within the platform are not only a concept; it's actually an entity within the Apigee platform, right? And you should be able to define, token-based service tiers, right, using products in Apigee, right? You should also be able to define fine-grained model access and chargeback models, right? And this is out of the box. This is something that we've been doing for many, many years for API traffic. And today for AI products, this is going to be relevant, right? So you should be able to configure based on out-of-the-box capabilities. You should also be able to create your own custom model garden with Apigee capabilities. In this case, we're going to be repurposing one of the developer portal capabilities in Apigee to be able to create a new marketplace experience where you're going to be able to publish AI products, right? And also, you should be able to streamline the onboarding experience for internal users or potentially as well external users. And finally, being able to create advanced visualizations, right? And this is about sharing the insights and data that it's available in analytics, right? And not only specific to LLM traffic, but any type of traffic, right? Consumers, particularly business users, are interested in getting to know more about the value of the platform and their investments in AI. right? And this is data, that you can combine directly within the Apigee platform or with other platforms, but you can expose them directly through these advanced visualization capabilities, right? And again, we're going to show a perspective into how you can share some insights to consumers, but at the same time, remember, there are other business users that may be interested into, reusing some of these metrics and dimensions available out of the box and build your own custom visualizations as well. All right. So with that, in this demo, we're going to show you several things, right? We're going to show you how within the Apigee platform, you should be able to create a tiered product strategy. Each product tier will allow or will unlock access not only to new models, right? But it should also enforce different limits, right? In this case, you're going to be assigning a budget or a limit, a token budget or limit, depending on the service tier, right? We're also going to be able to show you how you should enforce token limits, right? So based on your tier definition, right, you still need to enforce it, right? Making sure that, consumer A that only has access to the bronze product, they're going to be adhering only to the bronze product token limits, right? If you're a silver consumer, right, of course, you're going to be, the limits for the silver product tier are the ones that are going to be applying to you, right? We're going to show you how you should be able to obtain LLM specific metrics, right, from Apigee Analytics, right, and how you should be able to analyze these consumption trends by specific consumer, maybe by a specific AI product, maybe both, right? And then you have access to, again, the 150 plus universe of metrics and dimensions of Apigee to obtain additional insights. And finally, how you should be able to share consumer-specific analytics with application teams using custom advanced visualizations. All right. So with that, what you're seeing right now is basically the product page, the admin product page of the Apigee platform. Here, I designed already a tiered product strategy. This is my first AI product. This is a product, a bronze level product, which provides economical access to Google's Gemini Flash, right? And it provides a generous 2,000 token limit per 5-minute window limit, right? This is perfect for, we're just getting the toes in the water. We're just gonna try it out, right, for now. And then, this is, useful for developers that are just getting started with their agentic experiences and applications, right? But then we're also going to have a silver level product. This product, is going to unlock access not only to Gemini Flash, but also Gemini Pro, and even a third-party model, right? And in this case, we are providing a more generous 5,000 token limit in a 5-minute during a 5-minute window, right? And again, based on the product definition, we can also identify, apply in a specific quota, and in this case, only giving access to the models that this user, or in this case, whomever subscribes to this product, should be able to get access to. All right. So going back to the main, experience, I'm going to show you how you should be able to apply or enforce those distinct product tiers, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm simulating some traffic. I'm going to start sending traffic using my silver subscription, right, to the AI, to the silver AI product, right? And you're going to see some traffic flow through, right? And I'm asking really complex questions with purpose, right? I'm trying to generate a lot of content, right, so that I can reach that 5,000 token limit quick enough, right? So we're going to see, around 5 to 8 different prompts flowing through this demo, right? There we go. We see how, in this case, we're already seeing as well our security policy enforcing some controls because I'm asking some specific questions here. Now, in this case, in a couple of prompts, there we go, we should be able to see that limit being enforced. And again, this very generous limit of 5,000 tokens. There we go. Now we can see that over here we have a quota capability in Apigee that has been reconfigured to work based on token counts. Now, in this case, because we already reached the threshold of 5,000 tokens on a 5-minute window, I'm gonna give it a try, and I'm gonna try to send a prompt from the chatbot experience, right? I'm asking, hey, again, tell me all about Ruben. And guess what? In this case, my agent has exceeded the token allocation. Please wait 5 minutes and then try again. This is a custom error message, right? We're making sure that the agentic experience is still seamless, right? But in this case, we're handling an error based on what we have available in the Apigee platform. Now, I'm going to show you how, from an operational perspective, users, in this case, whomever has access to the platform, should be able to get additional insights over how these token limits are being enforced, and more importantly, to know which application, in this case, each developer app, is to better understand the consumption of tokens over time. Right now, remember, LLM traffic is rated differently. Right, we're going to be counting the number of tokens on prompts and number of tokens on LLM responses. And this is important to capture distinctly, right? Just because they're going to be rated differently depending on LLM providers, right? So here we can see the token prompt count. We can also see the candidate response count and also the total token count, right? So this is going to be huge for Emma because now she can create budgets, right? She can rate those transactions. She can create chargeback models based on the data that is available in analytics. Now, what I'm showing you right now is basically the custom model garden experience that Emma has created, right? So in this case, I already published several, not only agents, but also unlocking access to my AI products, right? In this case, as you can see, there's my AI product Silver, right? And then as a consumer, I can just go ahead and request access to this AI product Silver, right? And again, this can trigger an onboarding process, maybe an approval process for someone within the organization to be able to get access to this service tier. Now, finally, remember, we want to share some of these insights to consumers, right? And in this case, I'm showing you a custom visualization that can be created to share with your users, right? In this case, Emma already created a monthly budget, right? And I'm able to see, the total budget allocation for a given consumer app, and then I should be able to provide this information in an embedded experience, maybe share it every week, every month, even daily, right, on an email. All of these options are available to Emma through our seamless integration between Apigee and Looker Studio. What you're looking at right now is the serving platform architecture, right? And this is a technical version of the AI-powered data value chain that Michael introduced you to a few slides ago, right? And as you can see, there are going to be different building blocks based on what's available in the Google Cloud Console, right? Now, from left to right, right, you're going to see that we still have Apigee in between. The consumer experience, right? There's going to be a chatbot experience somewhere where the user is going to be interacting with your agents, right? And then there's going to be the orchestrator in between. That orchestrator is basically the agent, the agentic framework, right? You may be using Vertex AI Agent Builder, maybe something else, something custom, right? And then you can deploy that custom solution on top of serverless infrastructure, even Kubernetes as well. Now, the reason why we're proposing this is that between the user experience and the orchestrator, you're still going to have to deal with traditional application serving needs, right? You may want to apply your own custom authentication authorization on top of the LLM concerns that we spoke about, right? Being able to introspect into prompts, being able to log those prompts, being able to handle custom metrics, right? Being able to set up routing logic and failover strategies. All of that, it's very normal to any type of application. In this case, this agentic experience is not going to be the exception, right? Now, there's also the interactions between these orchestrators and the LLMs, right? For LLM traffic, remember the idea here being that you should be able to support a multi-tenant platform. Today, you have only one orchestrator, maybe one LLM provider. Tomorrow, you need to support not only multiple LLM providers, but even your own models. And at the same time, agents, not only you're going to have a single agent, but you're going to have experts or agent experts on each and every line of business, right? So in this case, what we're proposing is that you should be able to apply similar patterns, right, in those two edges, right. On the left side, you should be able to apply patterns to protect and secure and govern, how you're exposing those agents to consumers, right. And to the right, you want to support the multi-tenant LLM platform. Right at the top, of course, you should be able to take advantage of the great operational suite available in Google Cloud, cloud monitoring, and also cloud logging to be able to track all user interactions. Again, not only between the users and the agents, but also between the agents and the LLMs. All right. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Michael for some takeaways.
Wow. What a set of great demos. Thanks, Ruben. So, as you have seen, generative AI is being operationalized today at scale, going from that one use case to multiple uh, across the organization. And To help scale this program, providing a flexible and robust AI platform to your team is critical for the sustained innovation to make sure that you can go to market fast and secure. And API management, as we have seen, plays a key role in building that platform and that solution for your organization. Let's talk about what's next. So, if you want to go deeper and learn more, visit our Apigee blog to read the latest content. You can also get started today with all the solutions that you have seen by visiting our repository of reference solutions. If you need more help and if you have access to an Apigee sales specialist, uh, feel free to reach out and learn more. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the webinar and can't wait to see what you built.